What's up, everybody? So, in today's video, I want to go over an unboxing of the RS3 Reaper Pros. Okay, now a quick disclaimer. These were not given to me. These weren't given as a product review or anything of the nature, not a fluff piece. It's just something that I've had my eye on. So, these have been paid for, not free. I want to give the most fair review over this. Now, saying that, this video is not going to be a review video, but just a opening, just to show you how it looks straight from the box. So this is how it arrived. So, we got this fancy state-of-the-art covering right here. And I took the usual shipping time to get here. So, it's in pretty good shape. We're going to have little scuffs right here, but that's FedEx for you. Nothing retro shooter can help. But one thing I was surprised about is the weight of this thing. This thing, it's got some weight to it, so I can definitely see why the shipping prices for these is why they are. Now, I've always run a send-in channel, and I will still run my send-in stuff, but I've been doing that for 2, 3 years now. I can't remember how long I've been doing this. So there's only so much with sending I can do. I'm trying to venture out and try other things. I've looked into BlamCon. I've even looked at some gun for IR. The reason I went with this was just from the full package, the guns, the pedals, the IR lights, everything that comes with it. You really can't beat that price. I mean, it's a great price overall. And these have been out for a little while, and most people have really good things to say about them. So I figured, I'd give it a shot. And it really hasn't been full video tutorials on how to set these things up. So I want to venture into that, but I'm still going to do my sending. And also with my Uncle Rick build, that is still going to happen. It's actually in the works and going through its testing still. And I'll also make an adaptation for these, assuming, these actually work and are compatible as they should be. So be on the lookout after descending brick build for an adaptation for the Reapers. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this unboxing started. We're going to use this good old trusty Cuisine Art Blade. Don't tell my fiance I'm using this. She's going to kick my ass. So let's go as gentle as I can. So I already got an opening right here. So I just want to start right here. Be very precise. One thing anyone knows about me, I am not very precise. Now, later on, I will have this set up and we'll go through some games. I want to test this out on the main setup that I have for the Rick build. If everything works the way it should, and I already have had people test it with the other retro shooter guns, as long as we just change the PIDs to what the retro shooter guns are, then it should just work automatically. Now, I'm not going to mess with recoil. I'm not going to mess with mame hooker. That's a whole other can of worms right there. And I will have videos on that, assuming I'm pleased with everything I'm doing, of course. All right, so let's get this out of the way. We got the retro shooter icon right here, so everything is looking smooth and fantastic. And I apologize for the camera quality. This is what you expect out of a $30 camera. But let's see if I can turn the slide down if that helps any. All right, that helps a little bit. All right, so let's get this out of here. Packaging looks great. I actually have a scale here, so let's go ahead and weigh this thing before we open it and see what we're looking at here, because this is a pretty hefty beast here. All right, so that's what it looks like out of the box. Pretty good. All right, just give me a second here. All right, so here's the weight scale I want to use. You really can't get a good look at it. See if I get some light here, if that helps any. And that barely helps. So I'm just going to Leave that minimal. So just take my word for it when I tell you how much it weighs. All right, so we're set at 0 right now on my trusty Ninja Turtles stool. All right, put that package on there. All right, and we are at 8 pounds and 9 ounces. So that's how much we have here. All right, so we're at 9 pounds, basically 8.9. I believe the site says it weighs about 9 pounds, so it's pretty accurate to what it says. Well, honestly, it feels much heavier than that. Go ahead and go through here. Now, some questions I've had with this gun, because actually, myself and a few others in the light gun community were communicating back and forth with Retro Shooter during the making of this gun. The prototype version of this gun actually did not have joystick mode. So whenever you see your other YouTubers with their versions of it, they do not have a joystick mode. So whenever they had their builds that automatically worked with other pre-builds, they were able to through a retrobat because it was non-joystick version did work with that. But when they implemented a joystick version, whatever the coding, whatever happened, it broke that compatibility with the Bottle Sarah. I think Bottle Sarah now where it's at, the joystick mode is compatible, but if it's not currently compatible, then it should be with the next version. But don't quote me on that. I'm a Launchbox user. I'm not a Bottle Sarah user. All right, and here it is, a moment that we've all been waiting for. Open this bad boy up and see what's inside it. All right, so right here the head's at. We have the flap here. I believe that's flap. Nope, this all comes off. All right, so it's coming up. A lot of suction on here for sure. Oh, if you hear that racket in the background, that's my crazy ass cats. All right, so out the box we have our lens covers. Actually, I see a fisheye, so did not know these came with the fish eyes, so that is awesome. So you have one for each gun, and I've never really messed with these things, but the quality of these feel good. They got some good weight to it. Doesn't feel cheap, but I don't know if fish eyes are really different. Using Sindens, you really don't need them because you do have a good range already from your TV monitor to your gun. Now let's feel the guns themselves. Yeah. Now that's some good weight. That is some really, really good weight in the way it feels. The trigger's actually a lot more responsive than the Sinden is. Well, it's easier to pull. Let me grab my Sinden out here. Again, I love my Sindens. Always will. Have these kind of rolled up because I haven't really done any Sinden stuff yet, so my apologies. Yeah, it's actually the trigger on this is good, so they're both good. This one is a little bit more beefier, so you'll probably get a finger higher outlock quicker. But quality in the build is definitely good. I don't know how many of y'all really mess with actual real guns. I know in some countries you just can't, but this definitely has a more real handgun type feeling weight to it. Okay, so on here we have our switches. I believe that's the reload. Reload, you can swap these around. The trigger, I am very impressed by that trigger. Sorry. Then we have our buttons here, our joystick. Recoils back. Over here. I'm trying not to F around too much with these settings. I'm going to pause this for a moment and check it out a little bit more. Okay, so one thing on here is this gun does not run on its own. Apologize for that. No one ever warned me unboxing videos can be dangerous. But right down here, we have the pins. And I'm not going to go into full detail on how these pins go, but it's very small, so you'll need to get something in here to switch those if you ever need to. I know these pins are going to be switched to control one player, and if I remember correctly, this should look different down here for player 2 gun. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it. Right here, this pin is already switched up, so that's going to make this automatically gun 2. And then this black one is gun 1, and how they do all that is just these pin directions. I'm going to have to go through the manual to find out what else these other pins can do. All right, then of course I have the gray one here, and of course all the same buttons and functions, joystick buttons. Down here you can put a laser scope if you want. Now, honestly, I would prefer this to be up here, but also if you're running the recoil, that'll mess it up. But you can put your own little scope up here, like the Ascendants have the railing right up top. Then you could, if you want to really deck it out, put on your own crosshairs. But here, I guess you put a little laser light right here. And how you do the calibration on that, I guess that's just up to you. I never really use that extra stuff, but I know other people do, so I'm just pointing that out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put these back in here all niche, just the way I found them. All right, and it's packed somewhat neatish. Let's pull this top part out, and there'll be more underneath here. So let's go ahead and get this top part pulled out. All right, now we have the rest of the juice here. So we have on its own USB cables. So we have the retro shooter box. Now, there we go. A little bit of shadow here. Okay, so the shooter box, this is what comes in. It's going to have your preloaded games on it. Now, unlike the original version, the OG guns, is a Pandora box that had preloaded copyrighted games. These do not. They only contain some indie games. Now, I don't know if there's just one game or two games on here, but we'll check that out in a later video because I want to do a full video over this. I feel this is always neglected. Now, I know they're doing a lot of developmental games on here, so I'm really excited to see what comes out of it. But this is what this is for now. We have the Firebase, which is something you're going to use. This will just definitely help keep your wire management in order. We are running DC 1224V. And looks like we have our gun slot 1 here, our gun spot 2 here. You put your gun USB here, put the recoil in here, and then your pedals. So of course we have our pedals right here. Now, tell you what, I've never used a pedal before, so this will be something interesting. I say that pedal, it feels good. Definitely feels a little bit beefy. I believe it's either some super really hard plastic or some metal. Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. I'm excited to try that out. So we got that, we got this, we got the Pandoras. We got our sensors right here, and they should just have little arrows on where they go. All right, so nothing here, but we have our stickers. So the adhesives is how we're going to stick it onto the system. And yeah, so that little arrow tells me where it goes. I'll have the full setup for you before this video's over, because I do want to get some main testing out of the way. So we got our power brick, and we have this fancy retro shooter manual. Now there's a official manual on their website, and I'm assuming that's what this will link us to. So we just scan that. I'm just going to assume that's what's going to take us to. So I think that's a good way to save a little bit of extra money there. All right, as far as the unpacking goes, I mean, this is it. I'm pretty pleased so far by the feel of the product, but you know, you really don't know until you test it. So I'm going to come back with you after I get this ready to go. Okay, so a quick note on here. As I figured this out again, it's my first time messing with the IR sensors. So the arrows are going to go directly bottom or top. So if you need these to be on the bottom, then you'll just flip these up, and these will be your bottom IRs, and then of course one will be your top one. We'll flip them over and make them your top one. Another thing is your setting up. So you have these where you can just mount them. They already come in these brackets, so you can just screw them in, or you're going to do like I'm going to do, and that's just going to use an adhesive tape for it. You can actually just pull this out, and then you can just put your adhesive on here and just slap it where it's going to go. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, so I got these on, and they hold on to it pretty good from the tape. So definitely pleased there. All right, so I got my hour lights going on now. So I have them right here, here. And you can see how the green is glowing, so it's working. Now I can't see it, but I don't have the best of wire management skills. But pretty much how it works is you have the plug in, and you can connect it here or here, or just any other two hour lights, and then you'll have an extra two USB-C cables. So I have my main one connected to this one and that one, and then I'm running my regular cables from here to this one and same there, so it powers up those. Again, my first time messing with these, so just bear with me. Okay, now I want to get you into the game, and let's go ahead and see what these can do with the mame and how easily and quickly I can get them set up. All right, so got the gun here. I want to plug in as player one. The cable comes with two outputs, the USB, and that's going to be the power for your recoil. And then we have this cable right here. Now this cable is definitely beefier than what the Ascendant has, which I do like. This definitely feels more of what you would feel like if you're playing an arcade game. It's nice, heavy duty. So I do appreciate that. Okay, we got the gun plugged up. So see that nice little light there. Got all kinds of shit coming up here now. All right, so it is plugged in. It is working. I don't have the rumble set on here yet. I want to do all that in a different video. I just kind of want to get a quick test play on this and to see how easily I can use this to adapt to my Uncle Rick main build. All right, so before we get started here, it's good to know the button mappings of the gun because that is going to be vital in adapting this to really any build you're using. The ones that matter is any light gun to be adaptable to most any game is going to need buttons to be the left mouse button, right mouse button, middle mouse, 1 to 2, 5 and 6. Those are normally what's going to be your credit starts, your coins, etc. So I'm looking over the guide right now. So of course, that's going to trigger is going to be your left button. This is going to be your right button, or you can switch it here, whatever your choice. And pressing this button in, that's going to be your mouse middle, which usually is for like your special weapons or games that require a third option. And then you're going to have your 1 and 5, which that'll be your coin, and that'll be your start button. So I just want to put that much out there. Okay, first you'll need to calibrate your gun, and I probably missed this in instructions somewhere. I actually had to do a manual search on Google to find this, but if you need to, search a retro shooter PC calibration, and you'll come across this download right here. It's probably on the website too. I just didn't look. All right, and we're going to run the retro gun program right here. All right, and you have instructions on the bottom what to do. Player 1, everything should already be preset for you, as well as player 2. So just follow the on-screen instructions. Start would be your front left and your trigger. All right, and I've already done this. All right, so I am pulling my trigger, but nothing is skipping. Okay, so go to your retro gun program. Now, what I had to do was unplug my box and plug it back in, the one that holds the gun and everything plugs into it, because I could not get past this screen. After I went back, unplugged the box, the power cord, and back in, I was able to start just fine. So let's see if we can do that again. Pull my trigger. All right, and we are good. So now we're going to do a 16:9. According to the profile on a 16:9, you can also do 4:3, and I'm assuming that would be a 4:3 with a bezel. But if it's 4:3 with the blank bezel, just background, you'll need to also have it set for 4:3 as well. Again, I do all mine with the bezel in 4:3, so we're going to do 16:9 screen. All right, everything here looks accurate. Oh, also, I'm not using the fisheye lens. I'll do that in a separate video. All right, now let me try to at least get a couple games of mames going, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so I got my sending border on. Of course, this will work out the sending border. I'm just doing this for a quick test. The gun's moving around. So if you need to know the PID number, which that's really what you need to know to get this to run, with the mame, it's going to be 5750, and then I believe player 1 would be 5751. So let's go ahead and get this started. Actually, I want to turn this crosshair off, because, you know, can't do accuracy test without a crosshair. All right, coins in, or starting the game. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right. Anyways, we got this going. One thing I'm very pleased with is off-screen reloading. As far as MAME goes, anyways, it works, and it works very, very well for this game. I want to do some more testing and more videos later on, so stay tuned. And this should help you all answer any questions you might have about this product if you're considering it. Anyways, you have a great day, and I'll